unable to get hold of Peter Louis Myburgh. He has done the expose on the Department of Health and Digital Vibes 150 million rand scandal. We do know, we've just heard from the news desk that Zweli Mkhize said that he's going to break his silence on the story. So perhaps Peter Louis Myburgh is attending that press briefing, but the story is not going to go away anytime soon. We promise to bring it to you in the coming days. But over and above of that, we also understand that AfriForum, obviously they are a civil rights organization, and they are calling for Minister Mkhize to step aside. They're saying that if he does not do that, there is going to be a tax revolt in South Africa. There's going to be a tax uprising by the citizens because enough is enough. We are sick and tired of corruption by ministers, government officials, and other looters. To talk to us about this issue is Johan Kruger, and let's hear where they are at as far as this latest pandemic, the looting pandemic, is concerned. Morning, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
It is absolutely sickening, is it not? Excuse my pun.
Absolutely, and even more sickening if the Minister of Health is somehow involved or knew about what was happening,
or is complicit, or has also gained monetarily in this scam.
Absolutely. I think the temperature at ground level, communities and taxpayers are at their wits' end, and the ANC is staring down the barrel of a tax defiance actions from communities. There's simply no other way left. It feels that communities can voice their concern other than saying, look, enough is enough. If you're plundering the coffers of the state for personal benefit, how can you expect us to keep paying taxes?
Absolutely. I like what AfriForum is saying, that we as ordinary citizens, taxpayers, should now revolt against this blatant wholesale corruption of our beautiful country, South Africa. Just before we move forward and understand why AfriForum has come up with this tax revolt, tell us a little bit about AfriForum. I know you're a civil rights organization, and what has your past successes been like?
Well, we have about 280,000 members countrywide from all communities and all races. And in essence, we stand for the protection of civil rights as enshrined in the Constitution. And we have a long history since the inception of the organization of fending for these rights. So it's across the board, really. All aspects that really affect the rights and freedoms of ordinary citizens we take on, and of course corruption and tax abuse is one of those. We have around 155 active branches countrywide, and these communities are looking, of course, at government to during this pandemic, for example, to see to it the money that they set aside is actually used to benefit those communities. And when you hear these sorts of reports of the plundering, you know, AfriForum is not ourselves really baying for a tax revolt, but what we can do is we can say the temperature is such that we inundated by queries from communities saying, how can we do this? How do we go about with proving to the government that they can't keep on going without impunity?
Johan, I see that you as an organization, AfriForum, wants Zweli Mkhize to step aside until the Special Investigations Unit has finalized its investigation into his knowledge of alleged corruption and looting. But, you know, they may argue, government may argue that, he hasn't been found guilty yet. They can't expect him to step aside only after the investigation has been concluded, can, they take action against him? How would you respond to that?
Yes. Well, simply to say that if the ANC is serious about corruption and stamping out corruption as they allege, then this is a perfect opportunity for them to say, look, if one simply looks at the Prevention of Corrupt Activities Act, and you see there that any person, regardless of, well, even more so from a minister, has the duty to say that there's a possible corrupt activity going on. And Peter Louw simply says that it's very hard to swallow that Mr. Mkhize did not know of these transactions. And he had the duty to say, look, something's going on here. And if he didn't do that, then there's a sword above his head and he must step aside. And if he comes out clean, even more praise for him then. But they must prove that they're serious about corruption, stamping out of corruption.
Absolutely outrageous. 150 million rands has been set aside to manage COVID communications, etc. And almost 90 million rands of that money seems to have gone into the pockets of his associates, his ex-PA, and their families. We know that it is only alleged at this stage. Nothing has been proven or disproven. However, there's no smoke without fire.
Exactly. Peter Louw, he's got a good track record of laying bare these sort of corruption allegations, and it's proven true in the past. So what we've seen from what he has reported, and also the comments from the SOE, that there has been progress with their own investigations, that we're looking forward, obviously, to hearing what those are. There's definitely a fire there, and they must really own up. Like you said, communities people are dying daily due to COVID, and people are helpless. And to see that the money.
Johan, are you still there? Okay. Let's just take a quick break while we try and get Johan back online. There's still one or two very important questions we need to ask him. And, it's our duty here at Salam Media and all other media houses to make sure that these stories come to you, that you are aware of what is going on, and make, and then enable you to make your voice heard as well. So just give us a minute or two while we try to reconnect with Johan Kruger.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
A strip of land with over 2 million people blockaded for 13 years. Healthcare is on its knees, food is scarce, and water is inadequate. COVID has wreaked havoc in the lives of the people of Gaza. 53% of the population live below the poverty line. 80% of Gaza relies on external aid to survive, and 20,000 children are now orphans. The future is bleak. Please, don't forget Gaza. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Motala Perfumes, one of the biggest perfume manufacturing houses in Africa, with a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility specializing in designing, creating, developing and producing new scents and matching designer fragrances for all our stores, as well as private labeling for individuals and companies across Africa. Visit your nearest Motala Perfumes store or visit our website at www.motalaperfumes.com for more information on creating your own brand.
Mates Linen pop-in store for these amazing deals. Quilts from 170 Rand. Private collection standard pillows, twin pack from 80 Rand. Pierre Cardin duvet covers from 250 Rand. Assorted scatters from 100 Rand. We are stockers of Linen House range and designer curtains by Stuart Graham. Let Mates Linen turn your house into a home. Mates Linen branded outlet. 202 Brickfield Road, Overport, Durban. Call us on 031 209 0176.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
It's 9:34. Thank you for your patience. We have Johan back online. Obviously, Johan Kruger is head of community development at AfriForum. And the reason we're talking with him this morning is AfriForum is asking for Minister Mkhize to step aside under the latest allegations of him being involved in a mismanagement of funds. There was a budget set aside of 150 million rands to manage the COVID pandemic. And it is alleged that Mkhize, his former personal assistant Nadira Mita and Tahira Meta are at the center of a massive alleged looting frenzy, which has enabled questionable deals and also obviously enriching themselves. And the partnership that was formed here between Tahira and Nadira, they've formed a company called Digital Vibes, and it is alleged that Mkhize is directly involved. But I think this story is going to gain a lot of traction in the coming days. We were unable to get hold of Peter Louis Myberg, but we are talking with AfriForum, and they are calling for a tax revolt. They're saying that we need, as ordinary taxpayers, as ordinary citizens of South Africa, we need to withhold our taxes. But obviously that is also in the pipeline. It's not happening right now, but let's understand their thinking. So Johan, there's also another story, or there's another issue here, and that is the NHI that the government wants to introduce. That really raises huge question marks around the NHI and how successful that will be. And once that is obviously introduced, who is going to benefit?
Yes, exactly. The very two persons that you mentioned there is alleged to have also submitted some bills for NHI-related projects. And those are reported to have been massively inflated. So there's a connection already to the NHI, and the question really is that if this is the start to that whole project, then the question is if one starts centrally, government wants to centrally govern health services in this country, and this is the start. Then what is to be expected, and simply the accountability and the feasibility of this of the whole NHI, although the aim might be very noble, the practicality of that whole system is something that we question seriously, and these sort of corruption, alleged corrupt activities will be even more prevalent in a centrally governed system where there's very little accountability from private sector players and so forth. So yes, we're opposed to that. I just want to say that AfriForum is not ourselves calling for a tax revolt, but we anticipate one. Because there's a groundswell that we can see, and And we're raising the flag to say this is on its way, government, and get your house in order. But yes, absolutely, the sign of the times are there.
If this does in fact come to pass, the tax revolt, how do you see it playing out? Is it just a matter of people withholding their taxes? I should imagine it's much more complicated than that.
Yes, well, I think there's already some forms of tax revolt playing out in ground level. Of course, there's simply people evading taxes, but there's also communities saying, all right, we withhold our taxes and pay it into a centrally managed fund that from which communities, for example, fills potholes and pays for water tanks and the like. So that's one limitation. But then there's also other communities saying, look, we're going to pay a flat rate towards municipal accounts just to stay within the law, and then declare disputes on account of the bill that we do get, because we're simply not getting services for that. So there's many ways to frustrate the tax system, and we anticipate that will be one of the avenues that communities will start frustrating the tax system. For example, delaying your tax submissions and that sort of thing, to bring across to government that it's not as simple as taking taxes and plundering without impunity.
Absolutely. Okay, that's where we will leave it for now. Undoubtedly, this story, I have no doubt in my mind, is really going to gain traction, and we will bring all of this to our listeners and viewers right here on Salam Media. Thank you indeed, Johan, for your time, and you have yourself a great day. It is exactly 9:40 a.m. This is News and Views with me, Julie Ali, on Salam Media.